Dissociative disorders and film. Shutter Island. Shutter Island is a mystery thriller movie that takes place in the 1950s about a man who is investigating a missing person who supposedly escaped an asylum on an island. The man, Teddy, works with a new partner and keeps getting strange looks from the asylum staff and ex-patients, but while having those issues, he keeps getting flashbacks and odd messages. As it turns out, Teddy is not a real person, but is a separate identity of a man called Andrew who went through a psychosis due to his wife murdering their children and he in turn murdering his wife. So his psychiatrist set up this alternate thing where he's able to try to piece together that he is not Teddy and can break from his delusion. In the end, it does not work out. Dissociative disorders, as described in our book, are characterized by alterations in perceptions, a sense of detachment from one's own self, from the world, or from memories. Our book's definition of dissociative disorder, identity disorder, is a disorder in which individuals feel detached from themselves or their surroundings and feel reality, experience and identity may disintegrate. Andrew is the original personality. He is more logical, understanding, depressed, and anxious. As we can see, he kind of shrinks into himself and is oftentimes more disheveled. Whereas with Teddy, we see him as charming, paranoid, angry, he can be violent, and he's more in control. He has better posture and a somewhat cocky face, although there are times where he does get to be more disheveled and distressed. Teddy is Andrew's alter, created to cope with the fact that he murdered his wife because she killed their children. And then in Teddy's false reality, he believes that a man named Andrew Latest, which is actually the original personality, killed his wife by setting a fire in their apartment building. However, the wife's actual cause of death was getting shot by Andrew in their home. So right away we can see that there are similarities in them. However, in Teddy's personality, he has deflected the guilt of his wife's death and instead put it on someone named Andrew Latest, which is his original personality. The only time these two switch is when Teddy is made aware that he is not real, but is instead Andrew. However, if not done so properly, Teddy will become violent to stop the person from awakening Andrew, which could be argued that he wants to remain in control. This is just a part of Andrew not wanting to acknowledge the real trauma and Teddy wanting to stay in control. Two or more distinct identities is prevalent in this, as Teddy is Andrew's alter. Memory issues, we can see that with Andrew not recognizing that he has another personality and has broken through and recognized that he has this other persona. Suffering from other disorders is also prevalent in the fact that he has PTSD and delusional disorder, which is he does not believe that his reality is real and instead is just creating like false paranoia ideas. Past trauma with his war and his family's death, false memory of his alter's whole identity. He has people he believes are real, which are fake. He has memories that did not happen or happened in a different way. Hallucinations, which are not quite as common in dissociative identity disorder, but can still be mentioned, would be visual and auditory hallucinations that Andrew/Teddy have, which would be seeing his children's dead bodies as well as his wife just randomly appear, and then things that his wife may have said to him or did say. And then suicidal thoughts at the end of the movie. It can be argued that he kind of chose to die, as he did have a breakthrough. However, he reverted back to his Teddy persona, but it could be argued that he was just pretending to be Teddy and he just wanted to be lobotomized to get everything over with. Given that the character is technically diagnosed with schizophrenia, I feel conflicted. I feel that this character's diagnosis could be argued that he has dissociative identity disorder because it was not an official diagnosis in the 1950s, and although there are some criteria he does not meet, such as childhood trauma and the personality emerging in childhood, I feel that it could be argued that there were things not covered in the movie as it would not be something the psychiatrist in the movie would think about. I would say it is somewhat accurate because given the criteria he does meet, it is fitting for dissociative identity disorder, and there is a shift in himself when he recognized he is not Teddy. However, the handwriting was similar between the alter and the original personality. I enjoy this movie a lot because it has such a creative way to show delusions versus reality in a subtle way. I would recommend this movie not just for the psychology of it, but for the cinematography.